Okay. Yeah. So what do you have? What do you got for us?
So I was thinking about a session that I recently had, and um the client was considering leaving the therapy relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
it has been the third time they attempt to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I felt triggered, like, when I was meeting them, not knowing
Mm-hmm.
if it will be our final session and not knowing if it's really an ending.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So you were in this session with this client where they were trying to leave the therapeutic relationship for the third time and you felt triggered by that.
Mhm.
You're not knowing if they're going to leave. Am I getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I wonder if we bring our attention to this moment of being triggered, what is your hope?
Um, my hope is I can feel more resolved, and I feel like the boundary or the countertransference I have seems to be a little bit blurry. And so I want to better understand that and what exactly trigger me. And
Mhm.
yeah, to be able to find some sorts of resolution before our final meeting.
Okay, so you have a final meeting coming up. And what's the kind of resolution you're wanting to find?
What do you mean by that?
Did I hear you say you want to better understand the countertransference that happens for you
Mhm.
and have a resolution for your final meeting?
Mm, like you mean the plan for our final meeting?
Yeah, is that what you meant?
Mm, yeah, kind of, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And when you say like have a plan for your final meeting, what are you hoping that looks like?
Because I have worked with this client for quite a while. And so um, I would hope to close this relationship properly without confusions and back and forth of, oh, I want to stay, I don't want to stay, I don't want to stay, I don't want to stay. Like, I want to have clear boundaries and like stick to it. Um,
Mm,
and I also just want to yeah, like to find some sorts of ways to connect with them and like end the relationship properly.
okay. Yeah. So you're wanting to end the relationship properly, connect with them, and your is it like your counter transference is in the way right now of you knowing how to prepare for your last session?
Yeah.
Okay. And so are we focusing on getting to know the counter transference that happened for you?
Mm, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, and when you say countertransference, are you referring to the moment you were triggered?
Mm, like you mean a specific moment?
Yeah, I'm remembering that moment you brought up of them telling them wanting to leave for the third time and
Mhm,
how that was triggering for you.
mhm.
Is it like you'd like us to look inside that moment and see what countertransference is coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you imagine being back inside that moment with that client where they tell you that they're leaving or planning to leave, whatever they actually said, and just notice what happens inside your body?
I definitely feel like as I was trying to go back to that scenario, my body is activated in some ways, and I
Yeah.
this uncomfortableness around my stomach area. Um,
Mhm.
and it's sort of like, yeah, it's like pretty, like it's like around my lower stomach, and it's like this
Mhm.
sensation of pain.
Yeah. So there's a sensation of pain happening in your lower stomach. Would you like to bring your attention to that?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you see if you can almost bring your mind like next to that pain in your lower stomach? Imagine like turning towards it and asking, "What do you want me to know?"
I'm tired.
I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah. Could you ask, "What's tiring you?"
Mm, it didn't answer.
Okay. Yeah. Could you stay with it and let it know, "I hear you. You're tired." Would you like me to understand more about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you ask the pain, "What do you want me to know?"
It's saying that it also doesn't completely know why it's feeling tired. And then as
Mhm.
I was saying that, there are some thoughts that I form in my head that's not coming from that part.
Yeah. What thoughts came up?
Um, I was thinking that, you know, this is a very in-depth relationship I have with them.
Mhm.
And I putting a lot of effort into better understanding them and helping them.
Mhm.
But one of the reasons, or like the main reasons that they stated they want to leave is because they feel like therapy hasn't brought them substantial changes in life.
Mhm.
Um, so it's this feeling of yeah, like there's just no like I'm tired and I don't like I just I'm fine with like this ending,
Mhm.
but there's
Yeah.
sadness too.
But there's sadness too, you said. Yeah. And can you check out, is the sadness inside that pain or is sadness separate from that pain that goes, "I'm tired"?
I think it's within that.
Within that, yeah. Yeah. So can you let the pain know, "I hear you. There's sadness and there's tired inside you." And you're okay with the ending. What more do you want me to understand?
Somehow it's a bit difficult for me to say those things to that part. I don't know why.
Yeah, let's check that out. So, how are you feeling towards the pain right now?
I'm feeling confused
Mhm,
and annoyed because I don't
mhm,
really want it to be there.
mhm.
I feel, yeah, like I just wanted to disappear.
Yeah, yeah. And so there's confused and annoyed, and I wanted to disappear. And does it feel like there's separate energies or it's all in one energy towards the pain?
Mm, how to differentiate that? Like whether it's three separate energies or one energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you take a moment to just acknowledge inside, okay, I feel I want the pain to disappear, annoyed, confused. And just see if you have a sense of them being like one entity or it's like a couple different parts that are here right now.
Mm. Sorry, can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, so I heard confused, annoyed, I want the pain to disappear.
Hmm.
Yeah. Can you check out if it feels like they are three different parts or like one part having all of those experiences right now?
I think the confused is some like separate.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think annoyed is related to anger and frustration, and it's related to I want it to disappear.
Okay, yeah, great tracking. Could you see if any of those parts are needing more of your attention right now?
I think probably the angry part.
Yeah, yeah. Could you ask the angry part, what do you need to know as I try to be with the pain in the lower stomach?
It's interesting. It's a little bit like um actually it's literally like what Sana just said. It's like this feeling of like a swimming feeling, like it's sort of like bubbling up almost, like the
Yeah,
sensation. And I
yeah,
feel like it's getting stronger, like I'm
yeah.
feeling painful.
You're feeling more painful? Yeah. You're feeling more of the pain in the stomach, or you're feeling the anger get bigger?
The stomach.
Stomach's getting bigger. Yeah, as you try to hang with anger. Is it like that?
As I try to,
Hang with anger?
yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Could you ask the stomach? Yeah. What's important about getting bigger right now?
Like getting, like you mean getting bigger, like getting more intense, or
Yeah. Yeah, right? Because the pain's getting bigger right now. Did I hear you right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and there must be something important about that. So if you can imagine going near the pain and asking, what's important about getting bigger right now?
it's weird. It doesn't want to answer this question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Could you ask the pain, "Hmm, what's happening inside me right now that has you not wanting to answer the question?"
Fear?
Fear, yeah, like fear towards the pain.
Like the pain itself feels fearful.
Gotcha. Yeah. Could you ask the pain, what's making you fearful right now?
It's afraid to be exposed.
Hmm.
Um, it's fearful of like the frustration.
Okay. The frustration towards it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ciao. I'm wondering what it's like for you that pain is fearful because there's frustration towards it.
Mm, like my experience of it.
Yeah. What's it like to know that the pain is fearful right now because there's frustration here towards the pain?
I feel like a parent who is sort of like seeing like these two kids of mine fighting and feeling annoyed, feeling
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Could you see if you can lean towards the frustration and ask the frustration, hey, if I stay frustrated right now, what is your hope for me?
there's a feeling that it's trying to protect me, or I don't know, like parts.
Yeah,
And I think it's fearful too.
okay, yeah, yeah. So, what we know right now is that frustration is also fearful and is trying to protect you some way. And pain is also fearful because frustration is towards it. Am I getting it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you ask the frustration, What's scaring you right now?
Think it's fearful of my vulnerability being exposed.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you know what that means?
I feel um I wonder if it has to do with like this being a recording session, um
Yeah.
interferes with like my psyche anyways.
Yeah. Could you ask the frustration? Are you afraid of the vulnerability being recorded if it was shared?
I think it's not vulnerability to that, it's weakness.
Mm,
And yes, it doesn't want the my weakness to be exposed.
yeah. And and yeah, is it like the weakness is inside the pain and it doesn't want that to be exposed?
I think so, yes.
Hey, yeah. How are you feeling towards frustration as it shares that with you?
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 Can you let it know? Yeah, you make sense. Yeah. And can we just check it out with the with the pain as well? What it's like. Yeah, that frustration doesn't want weakness exposed.
It doesn't feel very appreciated of what frustration is trying to do.
Hmm. Yeah. What would the pain like? How would the pain like us to spend our time if it was up to the pain?
Dissolve it.
Solve
Like
it.
it's transformed.
No, the pain wants to be transformed.
Yeah.
Am I getting it? Yeah, okay. Could we just check that out with the frustration? Hey, what's that like for you? That pain wants to be transformed.
Mm. It's no longer like it doesn't feel as angry as it was before, and there's worriedness that come up, like worriedness from the frustration part.
Yeah. Worriedness, like worry? Yeah, okay. Could you ask the frustration and what are you worried about?
Exposing weakness, it's the same response.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm hanging with this reality that we're in with the frustration. We have about 10 minutes. And so I'm wondering, given frustration, doesn't want weakness to be exposed. Guess I'm wondering how frustration wants us to aim our time.
I don't think it knows. And
Mhm.
I'm also feeling a bit guilty because this is not how it's supposed to go.
I just want to normalize uh, that, of course, there are parts sometimes that don't want things to be shared or exposed on recording. That makes total sense to me. And we might feel okay with it, but parts of us might not be.
Mm,
And that's totally okay with me. Yeah. And so I really want to honor this part.
mm. Yeah, I don't really why, but I feel like the sensation of the pain is getting stronger, and I also realize I'm
Yeah.
sweating now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hot.
Okay. Yeah. So the pain is getting bigger. It sounds like it's trying to communicate with you. Yeah. 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 Mm, mm. Could you ask frustration? Frustration, is it like you don't want pain to get any time right now because you're scared about weakness being exposed?
I think, yeah, like it's willing to give more space
Oh, okay. Okay.
to, yeah, to the pain.
Okay. And just check out if that ends up not feeling true any moment. Could you see if you can now come near the pain and just let it know, I see you. I see you getting bigger. What would you like me to know?
It's very sad,
Hmm.
like very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see if you can let it know? I feel you being very sad. I'm here to listen if you want me to know more about that.
it has something to do with abandonment, and it also has something to do with something else, which I don't know what it is. But
Yeah,
there's
what was the first thing?
abandonment.
Abandonment. Yeah, and there's another thing, but you don't know what it is yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Okay. Hmm. Could you access pain? Hmm. How old do you think I am?
like pretty young, like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, okay. Could you ask the pain? What do you want me to know about 4 or 5 abandonment?
Mm. Like there's no there's no consistency in terms of who I'm with. My parents were working a lot, and so ever since I was born, I had multiple people taking care of me from the age, like from I was born to like when I was 6. And like some of the people are like my our relatives, grandparents, aunts, and there are also a lot of nannies. It's
Hmm.
probably more than 10 people or more.
Okay. Yeah. So this pain wants you to know there's no consistency in who's there. Yeah. How are you feeling towards this pain as you catch that it holds the experience of being 4 or 5 and abandonment and no consistency?
Like, how do I feel?
Yeah, towards this pain.
I feel sad for it.
Yeah, like empathy sad or pity sad.
Pity.
Pity. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Could you see if you can turn towards the pity and go, hey, what's important about pity?
It gives me more power. Like when I'm feeling pity towards it, I'm feeling in some ways superior than it.
Yeah,
And
gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Could you ask the pity, if I don't feel superior to the pain right now, what are you worried will happen?
it's fearful something merging.
Mm.
Uh, Like it's fearful that it will get out of control in some ways.
Yeah, like you're gonna merge with the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your wisdom, Pity. Yeah. I also want to pause this for a moment. I'm just looking at the time. I'm wondering if you have like 15 more minutes. I'm also wondering if Sana has 15 more minutes or if we need to close our works soon.
I can do until before 5. So I have
Okay.
5 and before that is fine by me.
Okay. How about you, Sana?
Yeah, so I can do until 4:30.
Okay. Should we go until then? Yeah. Okay. So let's go for another like 15 minutes. Ciao. How does that sound to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So pity doesn't want you to merge with the pain. Yeah. Could you see if, could you ask the pity, hey, if I can be with the pain without merging with it, how would that be for you?
Be with the pain without merging.
If there was a way you could stay with the pain without merging, how would that be for the pity?
Like it's fearful. Like it's fearful that it will happen. And so it's hard for it to like it's hard for it to imagine that situation.
Yeah, I have some ways we could create some differentiation and stay connected with the pain. Would the pity like to see me make those kind of invitations to see if that's possible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Could you see, Xiao, if the pain is still here?
Yes.
Yeah. If the pain had a color or shape, what would it be?
Mm. Somehow like there's not a word that pop out into my mind just now.
Mhm.
Longing.
Longing,
Loneliness.
longings.
Uh lonely,
Oh,
like long.
loneliness, sorry. Loneliness, yeah, for the pain. Yeah, yeah. And does that loneliness, does it have shape or a color to it?
It's like um like it can attach to whoever that gets close to it, and
Hmm.
it would just cling on to them. Uh,
Yeah,
and then the next person that comes, it will jump to that person, and then the next person, and then the next person.
yeah. So there's like a clinging to it.
Yes, because it
Yeah,
doesn't want
yeah,
alone.
Yeah, yeah. And could you see if it has edges? This clinging.
Edges?
Yeah, does it have like a shape to it?
Mm, no, it's literally like if you think about like slime, it's a little bit like that. So it doesn't really have a
Okay, it's like a blob.
sort of, yes.
Yeah. Does that like slime have a color?
It's it's dark red.
Yeah, this dark red slime. Is it in the stomach right now?
The loneliness,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Could you see if you can for a moment imagine coming outside of the red slime? Like you can physically do it like me, or just imagine doing it, whatever works. And see if you can imagine there being space between you and this red slime of loneliness.
Yes.
Yeah. And from that space, how are you feeling towards the red slime of loneliness?
I feel sorry.
Yeah.
Feel like it's trying to survive by clinging on to people, but it's actually hurting me.
Yeah. Do you mean sorry in a pity way or empathy way?
This time it's more like empathy.
Empathy, okay. Can you see if your empathy reaches the red slime of loneliness that's trying hard to survive? Yeah, what's that like?
I feel less painful around my stomach, interestingly. Um, I feel like it's like the red slime starting to get transparent.
Hmm, yeah. Could you ask the red slime? Yeah. What shifted for you?
What's what?
What changed for you just now?
It realized that it's it doesn't have to do it anymore.
Oh, it doesn't have to do what anymore? Cling?
Protect me by clinging onto people because of
Okay.
fear of
Because of fear,
loneliness.
because of fear of loneliness. Okay. Could you ask the transparent slime? Yeah, how did you just discover that? That you no longer have to cling onto people
Mm.
out of fear of loneliness.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, could you ask the slime, how did you just discover that you don't have to cling onto people anymore out of fear of loneliness?
Because I'm not her anymore. Like I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Is it like the slime saw that you're no longer that child?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. And what's that like for the slime to take in? Oh, I thought you were the child. Oh, you're no longer that child.
It feels like it's being freed from something.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hang with it and just check out what it's being freed from?
Like my self-value,
Mm,
self-worth.
mm.
What do you mean by is what is it being freed from?
Yeah, yeah. And then self-worth, self-value came up.
Like what is sorry, like what is like it like what is it?
Uh, I think my question right now feels less important. I'm more curious about the self-worth, self-value that came up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What's that about for
It's
the slime?
what's that about?
Yeah, like, oh, self-worth, self-value came up. What's that about for the slime?
Mm, what's it like for the slime or what's it like for me?
I guess I'm just wanting to know more about the self-worth and self-value that came up because I'm not sure what that's about.
Okay. Yeah, as I was just thinking about it, I feel more empathy towards this slime
Yeah,
because I realized it was literally my survival mechanism to be able to adapt into mm, yeah, like be able to adapt into these different like with these different people and like the unpredictability of it and the complexity of it and yeah,
yeah,
like self-worth in the sense that like the slime, I'm not sure if this is completely true, but it
mhm,
feels like the slime feels like the only way to have self-value or self-worth is to be tied to another person. Like it's
yeah.
to exist on its own.
It's what to exist on its own?
It's fearful to exist on its own.
Yeah, yeah. Am I getting it? The slime's way of survival, of self-worth, was clinging onto other people, and it had to be that way because the slime knew you as a 4 or 5-year-old, and now checked you out and saw that you're no longer that child, and I no longer have to protect you in that way.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's happening for the slime now?
It doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. Mm, like,
Like it doesn't know if it's no longer needed,
mhm,
where it should go.
mhm. Yeah. Could you ask the slime, would you like to have another job or shift in any way?
Yeah, but I also think it feels fearful that it will be abandoned. Like it will, yeah, it will be abandoned
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
no longer serving the, like
Yeah.
it's no longer functional.
Gotcha. Here's what I'm wondering. I wonder how you might be able to hold this one well. Mm.
Hold this one well,
Yeah, hold the slime well as
like,
it, yeah, like not abandon the slime that's having a shift inside you or not needing to protect you in the way it has.
mm, it's no longer sticky.
Hmm.
Like before, it's quite sticky, but now it's no longer
Yeah,
st- feels.
yeah. Feels warm. I'm wondering if this part knows something about your self worth and self value. And I wonder if this part could be a reminder of that.
Mm, what do you mean by reminder?
Yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. As you're naming that it's warm, am I getting it? And it had this pursuit for self worth by clinging, and it no longer feels like it needs to cling.
Mm,
I'm just holding on to what it's always known, which is having self worth is important. So I wonder if it could be a reminder of self worth in some way.
yeah, it can.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder how this part might be able to help you out in remembering self worth as you close out with this client.
Um, it feels less attached, like it feels less um influenced by the separation. Yeah,
Mm,
and also like feel like there's, I don't know what, there's like a sentence step here in my mind that is like, uh this is work, like this is what needs to happen, and there's no other way I could have done better or to save them. And yeah,
yeah. What is it like to be landing here with those words?
I think this is a good place when.
Yeah, yeah. Could you check out if there's anything that needs to be said between you and this line before we close?
Can I say it in my heart?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Shao. Can we
Thank
have Sana join us now?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Really good watching both of you. Yeah. Um, Shao, does it feel okay to kind of like come out of that and come back into the space for you? What do you need before you come back into the space where we might be processing a little bit?
you. I'm going to drink some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm curious to know what that experience was like for you to come in with something that was stirring inside of you around sitting with a client. Yeah. And just noticing inside about where you are right now.
I feel very surprised
Hmm.
because I never really think that's an issue before, that I had multiple caretaker growing up.
Mm.
Um, yeah. And I was also thinking how like my parents were not prioritizing me.
Yeah.
Like they were not there when I probably needed them the most.
Mm.
It's surprised to have that realization and how it's related to self-worth or independence or something like that. So it's really interesting. And then like it's also surprising to find how like this clinginess is related to my my early, like when I was younger, like my romantic relationship pattern is sort of like it's definitely influenced by that clinginess.
Of course, and that makes so much sense. Yeah, and it also makes sense that that would show up in the room, that you'd have this experience with this client in this particular way, especially around separation.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you say more? Like some,
Mm, yeah, when I say separation, I mean you're talking about the prospect of them wanting to end. Yeah,
and that triggers me in terms of like relationally. It
yeah,
feels like I'm being abandoned in some ways.
yeah. Like the just where you started in the beginning. You know, the start about them wanting to possibly end therapy. Yeah, over and over. Yeah.
Mm. I think probably unconsciously, now it has become conscious that I'm clinging onto them in some ways as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it like for you to go through this process? And we've gone through this a few times now together. And I'm
It's
wondering what it's been like for you.
it's very like I feel very worried because I feel worried that like if something does not come up or I ask a part and it doesn't have any answer, or like I feel like I'm worried that I'm not doing it the right way, basically. Um, I also feel like I'm like almost like digging into my mind. Like I'm trying to pull out something from like um yeah, like pull out something from the I forgot what's the word. From the yeah, something like that. I'm not exactly sure how to say that. Actually, I can look it up. Oh, marsh.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's not easy to
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah. 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 There's a sense that you go to some really hard places or some marshy places.
Yeah, like I'm also like pulling out of that from my psyche in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I'm wondering right now is what's it like entering this process, maybe with those worries and where we land in this space of discovery and having more clarity around how to show up for your session with this client after spending this time with this trigger.
I feel like it's very magical. It's similar to what I did with Sana the last time. It felt like I felt like I wasn't doing the right thing. Um, but somehow like and then also I feel like time passed very fast. And but like yeah, I'm just very like I have no idea where this is going, and that uncertainty is very fearful. Um, but when I reach this realization, just feels like enlightening. Like it feels like, oh, like I didn't know that exists, and I didn't know that it sees me that way and how it's related to, like loneliness and my childhood and stuff. And it also feels very much like like organic. Like it doesn't feel like I mean I'm pulling it out, but it's not, yeah, it's not like I'm consciously pulling it, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, when we have done this a few times, when we've sat together and we've done this experiential work, I'm curious to know that over time, when you now find yourself having moments where you're triggered with clients, especially moments when we don't get to process together, does it feel to you like you have more access to compassion or at least a different relationship to some of the things that are going on for you because we've been through this process?
Yeah, it's very interesting because actually, I think like there are times that I would think about like what Boyoung said in sessions a lot, which is and like she's speaking it in a very specific tone, which is like of course you would feel that way, like of course you would something.
Yeah.
And yeah, like somehow like I found myself um hearing that voice, and it was unfamiliar at first, but the more I say it, um the more it becomes like the more it generates compassion.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
What's it like for you to hear yourself say that? That there's more compassion now that you're able to generate.
I feel I mean, I think almost, of course, I feel very positive about it. And like thinking wise, it's like something that I think every therapist should be able to practice to generate more. Because it's such a crucial part of our work. Like I would say it's the foundation.
Yeah. In watching you, both of you today, I could sort of see super clearly some of the skills, right? Like finding a trigger, getting into contact with it, getting curious, getting into relationship, and eventually forming or being curious enough to have a new relationship, and then that leading to compassion, um, and sort of a shift in how you might perceive what's going on for you. And I'm wondering what it's been like for you in terms of skills. Does it feel like there is something that, even if it's one thing, that you're kind of taking away and using in your life with your own clients or with yourself when you're in session?
You mean like those specific skills?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you mentioned finding the trigger and do you mind telling me?
Yeah. So just finding a trigger, being curious about it, coming into a relationship with it, and then having some compassion towards it and a new relationship.
I think that the idea of relationship with myself is already very powerful, and even like relationship with different parts within myself and their relationship with each other is even more fascinating. And
Mm.
I think in my personal life, I was trying to, yeah, like I was trying to not react immediately to like the trigger and trying to humanize it, like try to like see it not as my enemy, but something that I'm curious about, something that is speaking something to me that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that applies to my sessions with clients as well, I think.
Yeah.
Mm. I have one more question for you, but Sana, I'm wondering if you have to go.
Yeah. Well, do you want to ask your one question?
Sure. Yeah. Mm. As you've been through this process with us, I'm wondering for therapists who haven't been through this process of coming into relationship with their triggers and why that might be so important, I wonder what you have to say.
Mm, I think it's very easy to turn our focus outward and analyze the clients and feeling the power of being a therapist, being someone who is a professional and very capable. But I think there is also the aspect of us as human and utilizing that to better understand our clients and understand ourselves. And that is, I think, a crucial quality a very good therapist need to have, is to also tune into our inner self. So I would definitely recommend, this group to anyone who want to work on better understanding triggers and how to build relationship with it and how to feel more compassionate.
Mm.
Mm.
Something I've been able to witness, which has been really cool as a facilitator in this group, is seeing that when we come into relationship with our triggers, there are discoveries that are made about how to handle our sessions moving forward. It's really cool to see that, oh, the wisdom is inside the triggers if we really come into relationship with them.
Yes, yes, that we should not see it as something that should be eliminated or be feeling ashamed about, but something that is, yeah, that wants us to know something about
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Shao. I love what you said about um, being taught to be professional, but in fact, I think our capacity to be relational is that we're human and having our own experiences all the time and leaning into that as a way to hold space for somebody else.
Yes, that's a much better way to put it. That's very accurate.
Mm.
mm,
Thanks so much for going on this journey with us.
Thank you
yeah. We're so grateful.
Yeah.
so much for
Yeah,
like allowing me to have this experience.
yeah. I'm so grateful for yeah you being open to doing even this demo with us and just
Mhm.
being on this journey with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is this a good place to stop the recording?